Hello, it's Dan here, and it's Saturday the 4th of February. So you can see before me here a bed. So this bed here, although I have had some good crops from it, it never really has lived up to its potential. So today I intend to rectify that. So I'm going to be topping the bed up with some homemade compost, really getting that soil enriched for hopefully some good crops to come this upcoming growing season. So here I stand in my composting area, or indeed my one here anyway. So have to excuse the slightly rustic appearance of the area here. This is not best practice to garden in this way, but it's just the way it's worked out, and I'm going to be sorting this out over the next few weeks or so. But anyway, so here I've got 3 different approaches to composting going on. So I'm going to link videos down below for each of these 3 methods if you'd like to learn more about how I create compost in these different ways. So this is the compost I'm going to be enriching my bed with. So we'll start with this one here, and this is mainly made of leaves and grass clippings. So I'll show you what this looks like. Hope that's coming into focus okay. So a nice bit of organic matter in there, and this is very good for holding on to moisture. The next method I have is the Dalek composting method. So see my Dalek here, Dalek compost bin, and there's some in there currently being made. Some at the bottom's probably ready now, but here I have a large container of Dalek compost that I made last year, and I put it in here. So I'll let you have a look at that. So this is really good, plenty of organic matter in here, and this will be very nutritious indeed. So down here I have some, I like to refer to it as leaf mould substitute, but basically it's leaf compost. So I'll show you this. There we are, and this too is going to be used to enrich that bed. So I'm going to fill up this wheelbarrow here with some of the cardboard and grass clipping compost, a whole wheelbarrow full. So getting this nicely topped up here. So back here we are. Now I'm going to be removing the crops I've currently got growing in here, so I'll be boiling some of these up tonight. Got some red mizuna there, could be put in a salad, etc. So it's all good. So let's remove these crops. Got some stinger nettles there, and we'll start working on building some lovely soil here. So I've sorted out some vegetables here and some salads from this bed, so these will go into food, which is wonderful. I put many of the weeds that came from here, stinger nettles, grass, etc., into the Dalek compost bin here in order to start making some more compost. So, see here, these are some sunflowers I grew last year. I left them up over winter so that the wildlife could eat the seeds, which they really did enjoy. So this is variety Sunzilla. I've got a video coming up later, you know, a few months, weeks or so, something like that, of how I grew these, so stay tuned for that one. But anyway, so these are going to come out. Just take the old cane out there, and what I'm going to do with these is just chop off the old head like that. I'll saw the bottom off there. So there we are. I've got a nice handy cane there, stick, whatever, to grow crops up. So some of you may remember that I had some straw bales here marking the bed here. So these have more or less broken down now. There's a little bit left, but that's fine. That'll become part of the growing medium. So that will have now enriched or added to the enrichment of the growing medium here, which is brilliant. So once again, I looked at the straw bales being there as compost in waiting, always composting, you know, whilst time goes by, thinking ahead, etc. You want to remove your sort of strings here, of course. You don't want them in the ground, but yeah. That's another nice bit of composting occurred here with a minimal effort. Right, so we're going to start with the old enrichment here. Tip this on, and I'm going to get some more wheelbarrow loads of the leaf and cardboard compost. So the area where I had the straw bales, it's lower than the rest of the bed. Hopefully you could see that there. So if I go putting compost on that, the compost will probably sink over time, at least more than this topsoil will. So I'm referring to this as topsoil, but it will have a little bit of my own compost mixed in with it as well, because I've kept it. But what I'm going to do is just top this level up here, because I want to bring this up to the level of the rest of the bed. So that can go there, and I'm going to get another load of topsoil. So this will be very well draining. The soil around here is quite sandy and light, and that mixed with the organic matter in there will be a very good growing medium. So got 3.5 barrel loads of the compost there, 1 barrel load of topsoil mixed with a bit of compost there, going to put another one down, and after that we'll be moving on to the Dalek bin compost. So there we go, 2 barrel loads of the compost mixed with a bit of organic matter there, so that's really, soil mixed with organic matter here, so that's wonderful. That's just there, and here we've got the compost you saw earlier. So we're just going to do a little bit of a spread and a little bit of a mix. So a nice spread using my rake here. This is a Wolfgarten rake. I really like their equipment. I use a lot of it, you know, in the jobs I do for other people as well. Detachable ends and things like that. Just a good brand really, I've found. Used them for the last few years. So what we do is we just rake it. Try and get it as level as you can, you know, sides are square, because if you don't do that, it can be easier for the water to run off, you know, when it rains or when you water it. So our next stage is to put on the Dalek bin compost. So I'm going to put that in there. This shall be easier with a spade. Now these big tubs I've got here, if I remember correctly, they're 365 litres, so they're a good size. If you look on the internet, you'll see how much they cost new. I bought them from the market a year or just over a year or so ago, you know, where you bid for things, and don't want that potato in there. Yeah, where you bid for things, and I got them for £12 each. So it can be advantageous sometimes to visit your local market, you know, even look on Gumtree or eBay. Not only does it help with recycling of objects, you can also get some good deals, which I think is good. Okay, so on we go with the Dalek bin compost. So I hope you can see this on the camera. Now look how lovely that is. It's got plenty of organic matter in there. You can see that it's well draining, but yet holds the moisture, and it's quite fine, and it's just really nice in general. The important thing to remember is this was made with a minimum of effort, just putting matter into a Dalek compost bin. So even if you are don't have much time to spend on your gardening, you can still make compost, and you'll be glad you did. And this really should help me to yield some lovely crops here. So we're going to have the Dalek compost just here, and once again just going to spread this over here like so. So we should finish off this little enriching process with the leaf mould substitute, leaf compost, however one wants to refer to it. Okay, so plantings. So I'm going to be planting some strawberry plants here. So I've got 12 strawberry plants here. I had these growing in a strawberry tower, and I took them out, and they're going to be planted here. So you can see they are about a foot apart, 30 centimetres, and how I'm going to plant them, I'll show you with this one here. All I do is just dig into the medium here, get my plant out, nice root ball on that, and when I plant, I put it in. Many people like to backfill like that and firm down as they do it. Sit just like that. Just doing this, I can feel the moisture retention in this medium here. And once again, fill up a bit more like that. You've got your plant, your little crown where you see it coming out the ground. You don't want that to be covered. That's a strawberry plant set. So there they are, all planted out, variety Malling Centenary. So if my memory serves me correct, they're a relatively modern UK variety. Now, they're very important commercially. Chances are, if you have bought strawberries from the supermarket at a certain time of year, some of them will have been Malling Centenary. They're bred for ease of picking, and they've also got a very nice taste as well. They really are. I highly recommend this variety of strawberry, Malling Centenary. So when you're planting strawberries, it can be advantageous to plant them in mounds, so like a mound there and a mound there. I haven't done that, I don't have time for that to sort of detail today, but these should do just fine, and I'll just leave these here now. So with regards to getting strawberries good crops in their first year, a good thing to do can be to get them in the ground the previous July time. Then they've got a bit of time to establish the previous growing season to get better crops the next year. But I haven't done that, as you've clearly seen here, and I won't get the best crop off of these this year. But next year I should get a much better crop. Some people like to remove the blossoms the first year to let the plants establish more the first year, as opposed to putting the energy into the crops, so you can maybe get better crops the next year. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let these do their thing. Of course, I'll be covering them up when the time comes, when the lovely little strawberries are on there, and I'll probably end up putting some straw maybe down or something like that to stop them laying too much in moisture if we get heavy rain, etc. So anyway, there we are. Planted out, Malling centenary, absolutely lovely. So brings me on to my next planting. So I've got a lettuce variety here called All the Year Round, which I planted last year on the 2nd of October in this cell tray here, and I left it in the polytunnel to overwinter. So they germinated, remained in there, and I've just brought them out now. So I didn't plant these out over the sort of, you could say we're still in winter, well, we are still in winter, but the early winter. And it's a good thing I didn't, because we actually had some quite cold temperatures. We went down to about -6°C, maybe a bit colder, something like that. And they may or may not have pulled through. So I'm glad I got them here. Anyway, so they're going to be planted here, just like this. And they are going to go in probably about 6-8 inches apart, something like that. Get my plant out. Get my plant out like that. That one there was 2 or 3 even in that cell. I'm not worried too much. And all I'm going to do, hope you can see this okay, is just pop that in there like so, and leave that like that and follow suit the whole way along. So we're going to cover over using this fleece here. Now these probably don't need much in the way of cold protection, hoping the worst of the cold weather has passed us now. But it could still happen and could still help. So we'll put these down here like this. Main reason for me doing this is to keep the birds off, because they truly would absolutely love to eat these. And what I'm going to do is just put that down like that. There's nothing set here, of course, at the moment, which is fine. And all I'm going to do, don't tread on the fleece like that, by the way. Not clever, but there we are, done it now. So keep that there like that. And we're going to keep that there like that. So we shall await our lovely crop of lettuce. So just a little note here. Now the organic matter applied to this bed, one reason why it should be incredibly beneficial is last summer, growing season, etc., we had very hot weather by UK standards, around 40°C some days, and it didn't rain for quite a long span of time. So that, combined with the soil here being quite light anyway, I wanted to make sure that I really built the soil growing medium here to the best I possibly can, so it retains that moisture in case that happens again. You can also see there I've got a container of water there, rainwater, very handy. Fully understand that many people don't want to have one of those in their garden. I totally understand that one. But you could maybe look into, say, a water butt, one that maybe looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing. Of course, I think they're absolutely beautiful and I love them to bits, but everyone has got their own opinions on these things and what they want in their garden. But my opinion anyway is, if you work hard on building your growing mediums, you won't regret it. And even if you don't go to the same degree I've gone to here, you can do it on a smaller scale. Even if your bed, was this big here, and all you got is one Dalek compost bin to make the compost up, so be it. Apply this to your situation, either bigger or smaller or the same. That's a good attitude to have in gardening, and in many ways a good attitude to have in life as well. So there we are, a nicely enriched bed, plantings of strawberries and some plantings of lettuce, which is wonderful. So you might remember that tray that I had the lettuce growing in, compost, that's 2 going to go on that bed there. Always thinking about enrichment once again. So anyway, there is our bed. So there's going to be hopefully anyway, regular updates on how this all works out, which hopefully will be positively grand, and all sorts of plantings to be going here. So if you want to be notified when those videos come up, and indeed other videos, please feel free to subscribe and share this video with anyone you think may find it interesting, useful, etc, etc. And if you like it, please feel free to click on the like thumbs up for me. Anyway, thanks a lot. As always, I appreciate your time. See ya in the next video.